Hey, so this is Sharline here, American Studies major, 17E. I'm here speaking with Yenifer Mezquita, who is a 16E. She's graduating this month. She already graduated this month. She's an American Black Studies major, and tonight we'll be discussing her identity as a Latina at Amherst and how that has evolved. More specifically in relation to the new mural that is now in Professor Lopez's office. He's also the Dean of New Students here at Amherst, Rick Lopez. And with that being said, Yenifer, we've spoken about this mural before, but we never really got into depth around, where it came from, and why it's up there now, like why that mural was chosen. And so if you can please tell me why the artist chose you and how was the process of creating that mural.
Yeah, sure. So Maria and I are actually freshmen. Our relationship, we didn't really stick together throughout college, but she approached me in the summer. We were both sort of wandering around Amherst town, being townies, and she approached me. She told me it was going to be like a continuation of her thesis, and she told me, I just, she just said, I want to do this painting of you, and I said yes, because you don't say no when somebody tells you they're going to paint a mural of your face.
Yeah.
It's just like a thing you don't do. But so what we discussed, and she already knew a lot of things about me, I think, so we just kind of discussed me growing up in the DR and
The Dominican Republic.
Yeah, the Dominican Republic, and then sort of transitioning to living in New York, and talked a little bit about my family, and we just get into that discussion, and I guess you can see that in the smaller panels that are in the bottom.
Can you describe those panels?
Yeah, so there's one that's a scene where it's like 3 little kids running, and it's like the DR, I guess.
Like in el barrio.
In el barrio.
The neighborhood.
And then the street with no pavement.
In the ghettos and shit.
Yeah. It was more like rural as, like, there's one supermarket in town type shit.
Oh, wow. Which part of DR are you from?
Puerto Plata.
Ah, okay.
See, but I don't live by the beach. That's what it's like.
Sosua.
No, that.
Yeah, have you been to Sosua?
I have, yeah. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yo tengo el monte.
Ah, you're in the mountains.
And so that's that scene,
yeah,
which is probably my favorite part of the painting, I think. And then there's like the New York scene, which is like dark.
Yeah.
And it looks like a crime scene almost.
Yeah, like it's like an alleyway, right?
Yeah. It just looks dark, but it makes sense because that's how I feel about the Bronx. Not in like this is like a terribly dangerous place.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way at all. I think more just like how I felt in that transition. I didn't feel like it was a good place, and I still don't feel like it's a good place for me. So.
Can you speak a little more about, the presentation of your face, more specifically your hair, and how that ties into the overall message that perhaps Maria Darrow, right? Maria had in mind, or, how the way, because I feel like a central aspect of the mural is your hair. That's the first thing you see when you look at the mural. Yeah. And it's very clear, and I know you, so I know this, but you get the image of someone who is an Afro-Latina. That's the first thing that comes into my mind.
Yeah.
And so can you speak a little bit more about that?
That's actually really funny that you say that, because when I posed for the picture, for the drawing, my hair was up. So that wasn't part of like the original picture, but I told her, she asked me what were things that I thought were important to put in there, and I was like, I want my hair to be my hair, because I feel like this is like an iconic thing now, Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Thank you. But yeah, so I told her I wanted the hair to be kind of part of it, and I love that what she did with, there are like parts of it that look really weird and kind of surrealist. So I like that, and I think, like you said, it's very sort of, it shows my identity. It shows, I think, you know, the race part of it. So I think when I came to Amherst, I definitely didn't see myself as an Afro-Latina. You know, I didn't think of myself as being Black or having a stake in like the race conversation almost.
Yeah.
And I think that just comes from like my upbringing. You know, Dominicans are like, no, we're not Black.
We're not Black.
Your hair's not that kinky.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, it's curly, it's not that kinky.
¿Tú no tienes pelo malo?
No, vete para el salón y ya. So your hair looks fine when it's straight, and you don't have to go through like all the kind of like, but yeah, that's not really how it works. So I think then I became a Black Studies major, and my world just like opened up to all these things, and of course like my interactions that I've had here, and you know, sort of like reanalyzing my experiences in specifically through school, you know, through like public schooling and all that stuff. Yeah. And I think I just came to a realization that this is like an important part of who I am in a political sense, you know. I think saying that you're an Afro-Latina is a political statement more than anything. And just sort of acknowledging that I have a stake in the conversation. And yeah, and I think, you know, it's sort of become like my one identifier that I really embrace, because I don't really like to, you know, my sexuality is like whatever. I don't care, but but I think that this is something that I'm like adamant about, because I think it's really important for me to acknowledge my Blackness. I think it's important for other people to see me acknowledge my Blackness.